We are going to see how this tuple works in Python course, right? So, so already we have discussed this topic in the class, tuple. So already we have, so already we have discussed this topic tuple in the class. Okay, we are going to see some more methods in tuple and how we can use it in tuple. Okay, we are going to see some more methods in tuple. So for the last, so in the last class we have discussed about list. Okay, we have discussed about dictionary, set. Okay, so today for this online class we are going to see the topic tuple, and we are also going to see some methods that we can use in tuple. Right? So normally, as I said, tuples are used to store multiple values in a single variable. So normally, how you store a value in a variable? So by using assignment operator, normally, yeah, by using assignment operator, normally we store a value in a variable. Suppose if you want to store more values in a variable, we can go for using tuple, list, set, and even dictionary. Okay, we can able to store multiple data types in a single variable by using these classes, or even we can say objects. Right? So with the help of tuples, we can able to store multiple data items in a single variable. Fine. Suppose if you are storing values like a of 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4. Okay, we can able to store multiple values in this tuple. So all the values will be stored based on index value, but which is not applicable for set. But in the case of storing values in tuple, we can able to store it with indexes. So as I said, all the values will be stored in the form of how we store in arrays. Okay, so arrays normally all the values will be stored with the indexes. So similarly for tuple also, all the values will be stored with indexes. Okay, so a of 0 will have the first value. So a of 0 will have the first value, that is 1, and a of 1 will have the second value, that is 2. Okay, and a of 3, sorry, a of 3 means the last value, because a of 2 will have the third value, that is 3, and a of 3 will have the fourth value, that is 4. Okay, this is the fourth value, so it will store at the index a of 3 equal to 4. So this four values will be stored in tuple. Okay, so let's see how we can create a tuple in Python. Already we have discussed this. I'm revising the concept what we have already discussed in the class. Fine. So how we can create a tuple? That is, this tuple equal to have created. Okay, with values here I have assigned string values to this variable, this tuple. Here I have assigned a string variable to this tuple. What's the tuple name? That is this tuple. Right? So if you are storing a string values, it should be enclosed with either with single quotes or double quotes. Double quotes. Okay. So you need to store the string value either with single, that is double quotes, or single quotes. Here, as for the concept of tuple, we are storing multiple values in a single variable. Since we are storing multiple values in a single variable, okay, it should be separated with proper symbol, that is comma. Okay, so all the values should be separated with the symbol comma. Fine. So since we are storing string values, it should be enclosed with double quotes. You can also use single quotes. Fine. So this tuple variable is having the values apple, banana, and cherry. Okay. And how the indexes values will be assigned to this variable, this tuple. The indexes value, always the index value starts from 0. Okay. It ends up to the value, it ends up to the value up to the last value that we have stored in the tuple variable. Okay, we have the values apple, banana, and cherry. The last value that we have assigned this tuple is cherry. Okay, so this cherry will have the last index, and apple will have the first index, that is 0. So this tuple of 0 will have the first value apple. This tuple of 1 will have the second value, that is banana. This tuple of 2 will have the cherry. Okay, so when you try to print this tuple variable, this tuple, it will print all the values which we assign to the variable. What are the values that we have assigned to this variable tuple? That is apple, banana, and cherry. So these three values will be printed when you try to print the variable this tuple. Fine. So this how values will be assigned in tuple. So for assigning values in tuple, the brackets that we uses okay, round brackets. So in the case of set, we'll be using curly brackets. Okay, hope you remember it. Don't forget the symbols when you write your exam. Okay, so in the case of set, we'll be using curly brackets. In the case of list, we'll be using square brackets. In the case of tuple, we'll be using round brackets. Fine. As I said, we can index the values which we store in tuples. But in the case of set, all we don't have any index value to store each value. If you are adding or if you are deleting values from the set, it will be randomly deleted from the set items. But for tuple, we'll have an index. So if you want to add or delete, we can do it by using the indexes. So tuple items are ordered, unchangeable, and allow duplicate items. And all the items that is stored in tuple will be stored based on the index values. Okay, the index value starts from 0. Okay, by incrementing the index value, each item or value will be stored in the tuple. Fine. So tuple items are ordered. Okay, all the items that is stored in tuple will be ordered, fine, and it should have a defined order and the order will not change. So based on the index, items will be stored, that is order, fine. Unchangeable means, okay, we cannot change any item in tuple. We can able to add or remove items from the tuple, but the thing is we cannot change any items that we store in tuple. Fine. So tuple items are ordered, unchangeable, and it also allows duplicate values, which is not possible in the previous case. Okay, it also it allows duplicate values so that we can able to store, okay, duplicate values in tuples. So in the case of tuple, we can also store duplicate values. We can also store duplicate values. Fine. So okay, am I audible? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. 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 So when you see this example, we have a value. Okay, we have values apple. Okay, we have values apple, banana, cherry, and also we have another one duplicate value apple here. Okay, so initially we have a value apple, and after that also we have the same value, that is apple. Okay, so since a tuple allow duplicate values, we can able to store same value multiple times in the tuple. Fine, it will not raise an error. Okay, but in the case of set, we can able to store only unique items in set. But as for tuple, we can able to store more than one value, more than one data item in the variable. So this is the difference between different objects. That is tuple allow duplicate values. We can able to store the same item more than one time in the variable. Fine. So when you try to print it, you'll have the item date that is apple 2 times. Okay, since tuples allow multiple, that is duplicate values, you can able to store the same item multiple times in the variable. So these are all the okay, this function, that is tuple length function, which is used to find out the length of a particular object or class. Okay, if you are using tuple, it helps to find out the length of the declared tuple. If you are using this function to a set or even list dictionary, it will display the length of that particular class or object. So what's the use of this length function? It is used to find out the length of a length of any object or class, right? So determine how many items. So if you want to know how many items that we have stored in a list or even tuple set, we can use this len function. So len function is used to identify how many number of items that you have stored in the class. That is, the class can be tuple, set, or even list. Right. So if you want to know the number of items that we stored in the tuple, we can use this len function. So when you give the tuple variable. Okay, so when you give the tuple variable inside this len function, you'll get the number of items that we know that we stored in the tuple variable, this tuple. Okay, here we have actually stored apple, banana, and cherry in the variable this tuple. Okay, so when you give this tuple variable inside the learner function, it will display the number of items that is stored in the variable this tuple. So no, we have stored three uh, values, three data items. What are the three data items? Apple, banana, and cherry. So these are the three data items that we have actually assigned to the variable this tuple. So when you give this tuple variable to the function len of, then you'll get the number of items that we have assigned to the tuple. Then we'll get the number of items that we have assigned to the variable. Fine. So the length is 3. We get the output. Okay, the black screen which is actually showing the output of this program. So actually we have the output length equal to 3, which displays the number of items that we actually assigned in the variable this tuple. Fine. And then moving on to the data types that we can use in tuple. So these are the different data types that we can use in. Actually, we can use any number of any type. Okay, you can also use any data types in tuple. Okay, it can also accept integer, float, string, or even boolean values. Okay, you can able to store any different kind of data types in tuple. Okay, it is also possible with set, dictionary, and also list. Okay, you can also store multiple, that is different data types in tuple, list, set, and dictionary. And so this is the example of storing multiple data types. For the first variable, we have stored string values, and in the case of second variable, we have stored integer values. And in the case of third variable, actually we have stored boolean values. What is boolean value? Which represents only 0 or 1. Okay, so these are some of the example which represents that we can able to store different data types in tuple. So this is the output. Okay, this output that we got from the for the previous program. So it's the output. I have stored different data types in each variable. Tuple 1 represents the string data type, and tuple 2 represents the integer data type. Tuple 3 represents the boolean data type. When I try to print the value of tuple 1 to 1 3, I get the values which I have assigned to each tuple variable. So for the first, I'm getting apple, banana, and cherry. For the second variable, I'm getting the integer values. And for the third variable, I'm getting the boolean values. Since I have stored a boolean values, I'm getting it as boolean values. So through this, we can understand that we can able to store multiple data types in tuple. Fine. So, and also we can also combine different data type and assign to a tuple variable. So in the previous case, okay, each tuple is having similar data items. Okay, when you take tuple 1, it's having string data items. All values are similar. Okay, we are storing only string data type in the variable tuple 1. For in the case of tuple 2, we are storing only the integer data items. Okay, all the data items are similar. But tuple can also contain different data types. We can able to store different data types in a single variable. When you take this example, see here. Okay, the first data item that I have assigned to the variable tuple 1 is string. Okay, when you take the second data item, that is actually integer. It is not a string because we have not given it with double quotes. Okay, simply we have given it as 34. Okay, so it was actually a integer data type. And the third one, when you take the third one, true. True always, okay, as we know, Boolean data type has only two values, either true or false. Okay, so the third one is true, which represents a Boolean value. And again, we are saying 14, that is nothing but an integer data type. And the last one is nil string data type. Here in this example, we are storing different data types in the variable tuple 1. Okay, so tuple can also contain different data types in a single variable. Okay, when you try to print the tuple, that is tuple 1, when you try to run that code tuple, run this code. Okay, yeah, okay, so when you try to run this code, we will get the output as, okay, we are getting all the data items that we have assigned to the variable tuple 1. Okay, from this we can understand that we can able to store different data types in a single variable in tuple. Okay, we can able to, it is also allows us to store different data types in a single variable. Okay, so these are the advantage of using this tuple. And then type of function, we have a function in tuple type of, which helps to understand, which helps to know the type that we have used to store the data items. Normally tuple, set, list, dictionary are all will be assembled with the type class. Okay, so class is an object which contains all these list. Okay, what all of the list? That is tuple, set, dictionary and list. Okay, so these four objects will come under this class type only. So when you try to include this tuple inside the function to your type of, you will get the display as, you will get the output as class tuple. Okay, because all the objects, that is tuple, list, set and dictionary, will come under this module, that is class module. Right? So type of function is used to find out the type of the object that we have used. Okay, and then moving on to how we can access tuple items. As I said, I can access the tuple items with references by referring the index number. Okay, by referring the index number, you can able to access tuple items. Fine. As I said, the index value starts from 0. Sorry. So the index value starts from 0. So 0 will have the first value and 1 will have the next value, and followed by the remaining values. 2, 3 will have the remaining values. Okay. So how we can access tuple items? Based on the index. By referring the index, we can able to access the tuple items. Okay. So here we have, let's see an example. Here we have a, okay, here we have declared a variable, that is this tuple having the values apple, banana and cherry. Okay, as I said, you can able to access the data items with by referring the index number. Fine. So this tuple of 0 will have the first value, that is apple of. Okay, and then this tuple of 1 will have the next value. So repetitively I am explaining each concept. Okay, hope you can understand it. Don't make mistake when you do the online exam. Right? So this tuple of 2 will have a last value, that is cherry. Fine. So this tuple of 1, when you try to print that this tuple of 1, this tuple of 1 is actually banana. We'll get the output as banana in the output screen. Right? So how we can access tuple items based on the index number, we can able to access the tuple items. Fine. So what is negative indexing? It's very important. See, in the previous case, we have access the data items by referring the index number. Okay, so that is 0 represents the first number. That is the first number that we have assigned, that we have used in the tuple, and the next value will have the next value. Okay, that is next index number will have the next value, next data item, and we do the same for the remaining data items. Suppose instead of assigning the index number, if you are using a negative value, see, so when you take this example, we have the values apple, banana and cherry. As I said, this tuple of 0 will have, okay, this tuple of 0 will have this value, data item apple. Suppose in the example they have given like this tuple of -1 means, it means actually the positive indexing starts from the first value. Okay, the positive indexing, as what we discussed before, it's an example for positive indexing. That is, for positive indexing, the value starts from 0. That is 0, 1, 2, 3, and it goes on. Right? Suppose if you want to refer that item from the last, if you want to refer items from the last value that we have used in the tuple, means we can use negative values. Okay, see, in the case of -1, for negative indexing, if you want to start the indexing, if you want to start from the end, okay, the -1 refers to the last data item, and -2 refers to the second last item. See, as for positive indexing, the values will be allotted from the first item. Suppose if you want to access the tuple items from the last, we can go for negative, using negative indexing. So if we use negative indexing, you can able to access the data items from the last. See, this tuple of -1 will be allocated to the last data item, that is cherry. Okay, and this tuple of -2 will have the which value? Will have banana. Suppose this tuple of -3 means Okay, when you try to print apple with the indexing number this tuple of minus, it will display the apple. Okay, let's do this example in Google Colab so that you can understand. Okay, let's do this in Google Colab. Okay, I'm going to create a tuple name, say a equal to, okay, round brackets, 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4. I have created a data items, going to create 10 data items. Let's say I'm going to create 10 data items. Suppose I need to print the last data item in this tuple. Let's maximize this thing so that you can see it. But yeah. Okay, so here I have assigned a tuple value. Here I have assigned a tuple value. Okay, A is the tuple which is having 10 different values. Now I am going to access the last data item that I have stored in this tuple. So how can I access the last data item that I stored in the list? By using the negative indexing. Okay, let's see. Print of a of minus 1. When you try to give the index as minus 1, it will display the last data items. Let's run this code. Okay, so when you try to execute this code, it will get the last data item that we have assigned in the tuple. Okay. So as I said, all the index values should be given inside the square brackets. Okay, when you check all the class objects, okay, all the class objects indexing will be referred with the square brackets only. Okay, so we have the value 10. See, this is the output that we got from this code. Okay, I have assigned 10 different values. What are all the values that I have assigned? That is 10 different values starting from 1 to 3. Suppose if you are giving, okay, so as I said, the index value starts from 0. So the items will be accessible from the first data items that we have used in the tuple. Suppose if you want to access the data items from the last, we can use this negative indexing. Negative indexing value always starts from the end, from the last. Okay, suppose if you want to access the last items by using some sort of indexing, then you can go for using this negative indexing. See, suppose I'm going to print of a of 0. Now run the code. So we will get the A of 0 will give you the first data item that we have stored in the tuple. What's the first data item that we have stored in the tuple is actually 1. So it will display the first data item that we have assigned in the variable A. And the last one is 10. This is nothing but the last data item that we have assigned in the variable A. So how we can access the last data item by using the negative indexing. Negative indexing value starts from the end, from the last data item that we have assigned in the that we have used in the tuple. So 10, if we want to access the last data items, we can use negative indexing. Fine. Okay, so minus 1 that is negative indexing means the value starts from the end. Minus 1 refers the last item and minus 2 refers the second last item. So here we have a value, this tuple equals to apple, banana and cherry. And as I said, negative indexing value starts from the end. So this tuple of minus 1 will have cherry, and this tuple of minus 2 will have the value banana, and this tuple of minus 3 will have the value apple. And when you try to give the code as this tuple of 1, it will display the last value, the last data item that we have used in the variable this tuple. So uh, the last data items that we have stored in the tuple is this tuple. So we are getting the output as cherry in the output screen. Right. So this is how negative indexing works in Python. Fine. And then the count of method. Previously we have seen another one method, that is type of method. Okay, how it works in tuple. And the next method that we are going to see is count of method. Okay, so what's the use of count of method? Okay, it returns the number of times a specified value appears in the tuple. Okay, it returns the number of times a specified value that occurs in the that appears in the tuple. Okay, it is used to return the count value. Suppose if we have a set of values in the variable tuple, so what are all the values? That is 1, 3, 7. So okay, so many values we have stored in the variable this tuple, and we need to I need to know, I'm going to take a particular value, say 5, and I need to count the value of 5. I need to know the number of times this particular value 5 is used in this variable this tuple. Okay, I need to know the count of 5. So how I can know the count of 5? If I have used, I need to know the number of times this value 5 was used in this variable, this tuple. How I can know? By using the function countof. Okay. So how I can access, how I can use this countof function in this tuple variable? Here I have declared a set of values with a variable this tuple. Okay. When you going to count a particular value from a tuple, okay, it should be given like this tuple. This tuple is nothing but the tuple variable name dot count of, okay, the specified value. What's the specified value? We are going to search, we are going to count in the set of values that we have used here. Okay, so I'm going to count the value of 5 from this variable this tuple. So since I'm going to count the value 5, here I have given it as dot count of 5. Okay, so the x will have the value of, that is the number of times the value 5 appears in this tuple, in this variable this tuple. Okay, let's do this in Google Colab. Okay, I'm going to define, okay, let's create a new code. So I'm going to create a set of values. Say the tuple name is tuple. Let's create tuple 1. That is, okay, I have used the name tuple 1 equal to square brackets. Inside that I'm going to give some other values, some random values, and then I'm going to count the values that I have used inside. Fine. Now I'm going to count the, okay, now I need to know how many number of times the value 1 appears in the variable tuple 1. Fine. So how I can do it? I'm going to assign a value, say x equal to, what is the tuple variable name? That is tuple 1. Okay, so tuple 1 dot, what's the function that is used to count the number of times that specified value appears in the tuple? What's the function? That is countof function. Okay, so what's the value that we are going to find out the count that appears in the tuple? Actually, I'm going to find the value 1. Okay, I'm going to count the value 1 in the variable tuple 1. Okay, since I'm going to count the value 1, inside the square, inside the count function, I have given the value 1. Now run this code. Okay, I have not printed the, yeah. Let's print count of 1. Okay, comma. Now, okay, so after, yeah, so count of 1 is fine. So actually, what's the count of function? Okay, it counts the number of times, that is, okay, okay, we return the number of occurrences. Okay, it's returning the number of occurrence of value 1 in the tuple variable tuple 1. Okay, so what's the use of counter function? It returns the number of occurrence that particular value appears in the tuple. Fine. And then moving on to the index function, we have also a function named index of. So index of function is used to finds the first occurrence of the specified value. So it also raises an exception, nothing but an error if the value is not found. Okay, so index of function is used to search a particular value in the tuple. Suppose if you want to search a particular data item in the tuple, you need to use a function named index of in tuple. Okay, so index of function returns the first occurrence of value of the specified value. Suppose if you want to find out the value 8, okay, sure. Let me take this example. Here I have declared a variable this tuple equal to having set of values, and now I need to find out the occurrence of 8. Okay, so this index of function will return the position of the searched value of the specified value. Okay, it will return the position, the first position. Okay, it will return the first position of the specified value. Actually, in this variable, this tuple 8 appears in the position, okay, 0 is 1, the position of 1 and 0, 1 and 2. Okay, so if we need to know the position of this value 8, okay, we can use this function, indexer function. So what's the use of indexer function? It is used to find the position of the specified value. Okay, so inside the index function, we need to give us you need to give a value, and this indexer function will return the position that we are going to find for for the value that is be specified inside this indexer function. Okay, see here we have a variable name that is this tuple dot index of 8. So it will return the position of 8. Okay, so indexer function is used to return the position of the specified value. Okay, so 8 that's actually available in the position 3. So x will have the value 3. Fine. So in the output screen, we have it was displayed as 3. Suppose if you want to know the position of a particular data item in tuple, you can use this indexer function, because indexer function returns the position. Okay, returns the position that we returns the position of the specified value that we declare in the tuple variable. Fine. So this is all about the functions and how we can access the items in tuple. Okay. Okay. So today, for the in the first topic, we have discussed about the functions and methods. Okay, and then how we can use access in data items. Okay, in tuple. So we have today we have discussed about different functions and methods that we can access in tuple. Okay, so this how we can access the values data items in tuple. Okay, so moving on to the next concept, that is list. Already we have discussed list in the class, but I have added few more methods in list. Okay, so let's start with from the scratch so that you can understand. Yeah, so what is list? It is also used to same. It is also same as tuple. It is used to store multiple data items in a single variable. So how we can create a list by using square bracket for. But in the case of tuple, we can able to create data items with square, that is round brackets. But in the case of list, we can create data items with square brackets. Fine. So if you are using string variables, it should be enclosed with double quotes. If you are using integer variables, there is no need of any double quotes or single quotes. Okay, so list is also used to multiple data items in a single variable. Fine. It is also used to store multiple data items in a single variable. So lists are created using square brackets. So in the case of creating a list, square brackets are used, and in the case of creating tuple data items in tuple, we need to use round brackets. Okay, so in the case of creating items with the list, all the data items should be enclosed with square brackets. So in the case of creating data items in tuple, it should be created with round brackets. Fine. So how we can create a list? That is this list equal to we are assigning some values. So what are all the values? Apple, banana, and cherry. So these are all the values that we have assigned in the variable this list, and then we are just printing it out. So how we can print a list? That is print of this list. Okay, by giving print of this list, we are just printing the values. Fine. So same as tuple list is also ordered, but it is changeable and allow duplicate items. And it is ordered. All the list items are ordered, changeable, and it also allows duplicate values. And we can access the list data items based on index values. The index value, as I said, the index value starts from 0 and it goes on 0, 1, 2, 3. Suppose if you want to access the last data item by using the negative index, we can access the data items in any class or object. Fine. And also list or order. So we have a defined order and the order will not change. Okay. So that if you want to add any new data items, it will be added only at the end. We cannot add. Okay. Yeah, we cannot add in between. Fine. Yeah. So all the if you add new data items to your list, the new item will be placed at the end of the list. So since all the data items are ordered, we cannot able to change the order. We cannot change the order. We cannot add any item in between the values of list. It can be added only at the end. Right? So as I said, length of function, that is if you want to find the number of items, how many number of items that we have used in a list, by using len of function, we can able to find out the items that we have declared inside the list. And we can also able to store multiple data types. We can store different data types in list class or object, and also combination of different. We can also store different data types in a single variable. So previously we have discussed that we can able to store. We have actually here we have referred an example, that is we have stored different data types in different variables. But here, okay, in this example, we are storing different data types in a single variable. Okay, that is just like tuple, we can also store different data types in variables. Fine. So how we can access item? By using the index value. By referring the index number, we can able to access items in list, same as tuple. Fine. So the negative indexing is that's -1 refers the last item, -2 refers the second last item. Right. So if you want to if you want to access the last data item that we have used in the list, okay, by using the index number, that is negative indexing, we can able to access the data item from the last. So as we know, yeah, this is the new concept. Okay. So what's the use of range of indexes? Suppose if you want to, this is nothing but the index value that we have defined here. 2:5 means, so range of indexes. If you want to access the data item based on range of index, we can also do it. How we can access the data items by using range of indexes? See, if they have declared 2:5, this is nothing but the starting value, and this one is ending value. This is range of indexes. They have given the indexes. 2 is nothing but the second index, and so 5 is the last index. So how we can access? See, see in this example, this list. Okay, so this list of 0 will have the first value, that is apple of. This list of 1 will have the next value, that is banana of. Okay, this list of 2 will have the third value, that is cherry of. Okay, so this is the index number. So the index that we have given here is the range of indexes, the value displayed from the starting, that is 2 to 5. Okay, so it's like it is just like we have given the range of indexes inside this square brackets. Okay, so as I said, in this list of 2 will have the value cherry. Okay, and index number for orange is 3, index number for kiwi is 4, and index number for watermelon is 5. See, whenever we have given a indexes, the value will be displayed like the starting value. Okay, the starting value colon final value -1. Always it will display the value like starting value colon final value -1. Okay, so if you take this example, 2:5. So how many values will be displayed when you given like 2:5? See, you can take this formula. What's the starting value? 2 is same as 2 colon. What's the final value? That is 5. So 5 minus 1. 5 minus 1 means 4. So it will display the value from the index 2 to 4. It will not display the value in the index 5. Okay, it will display the value only from 2 to 4. That is, it will normally display the starting value to the final value -1. Okay, so since we have given the range of indexes from 2:5, it will display the value from starting value to the final value -1. So it will display, if you have given 2:5, it will display from 2:4. If you have given 2:7, it will display the value from 2:6. If you have given like 2:5, it will display the value from 2:4. So this is how the value, the data items in the list will be displayed in the output screen. Fine. So in this case, we have given only the starting value, and if we have not given the ending value, see in this case they have given the starting value too, but they have not given the final value. If they have not given the final value, it will print up to the end. If they have given the final value, it will be printed like n -1. N will be the final value. Okay, fine. That is final value -1. Okay, if they have not given, see in this example they have given like they have declared a list, and after that they are printing the list, okay, with the range of indexes, that is 2 is to last value is not given. If the last value is not given, then the value will be printed till the last. Okay, then the value will be printed from the specified starting value index to the last data item. What is actually the last data item? Mango. So it will print it from the range of this list of 0, index 0 for apple, and index 1 for banana, and index 2 for cherry. Okay. So we have here, we have given the indexes to, so it will print from cherry to mango. If they actually, this example is for the final value which is not given inside the range of indexes. If the final value is given, it should be printed like final value minus 1. Okay. So, and when you take this example, it is actually they have given the, yeah. So in this example, they have given the final value, but they have not given the initial value. If the initial value is not given, or it will be printed from the first element, from the first indexes, that is 0. What's the first index? That is apple, that is 0. Okay, and the index, the item that is stored in the index 0 is apple. Okay, and then moving on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. See, if the final value is given, the data items will be printed like final value minus 1 only. If it is not given, then it will be printed up to the final value. Okay. If it is given, all the values will be printed like final value minus 1. Okay. It will print it from the starting value to the final value minus 1. So this how range of indexes runs in Python code. See, for in this case, this list of 0 is having the first value apple, of this 1 is having banana, this list of 2 is having cherry. Okay, we have here we have declared a range of indexes is to 4. Okay, the starting value is not given, then by default the starting value 0 will be taken. Okay, if the ending value is not given, by default the ending value will be taken. Right. So here 0 is to 4, so it will display the value from the final value is 4. We have a formula, that is starting value is to final value minus 1. So how it will be printed? 0 is to 3. Okay, so it will print the value from range of indexes, from range 0 to, from range of index 0 to 3. So it will print the value from apple, banana, cherry, and orange. It will print from 0 to 3. Okay, so this how range of indexes runs in list, also in tuple, set, and dictionary. Okay, so remaining things we'll discuss in the next class. So do you have any doubt in today's class?